Welcome into a brand new shortened edition of Believe in Panthers here on Believe Podcast Networks, brought to you by the fan folks over at Fanduel. Desmond Johnson in the house with Jonathan Stewart, the Panthers' all-time leading rusher. We realized we hadn't been on in a couple of weeks. The draft's coming up next weekend, so we figured we'd give you guys some content and let you guys have something to think about. It's been kind of slow, to be honest. We've always prided ourselves on we're not the type to come on and just do a show just to do a show. If we come on, if you see our beautiful faces sitting here, we probably got something to say. So welcome back. We're in the house. We will start our draft cut. Well, not start. We will do our draft coverage next week. I was going to ask you, Stu, because I was thinking about this because the past week or two we've thought about doing a show, and then we'll be like, I don't really have anything to talk about. So let's just wait.
Yeah, it's been March Madness. It's been other things going on. So
is this
let everybody's
boring?
soak in the Masters just happened, golf.
Yeah.
Like there's really nothing Panther related. So it is April. And the draft is upon us, and in about 2 weeks, it will be here before we know it.
I was going to say, though, it feels like this draft it doesn't have the same juice as some of the other drafts previously. Maybe it's because we're not picking in the top 10. So, like, usually we have an idea by now of who we want, who might be there. It's a little harder at 19. Like, all kinds of stuff could happen by the time we get to 19. We might even have the 19 pick by the time we get to it. So I'm reluctant to that. And I've always said, me and Stu, we don't do mock drafts. We just don't really do them. Like, they're never right.
It's a mockery.
It's a mockery. It's a mockery. So you'll never see Believe in Panthers doing a full-on mock draft. However, to satisfy the hunger for those that want to see those types of things, we decided here today we would do the last 10 overall number one picks. We're going to redraft them and see who would go number 1 to 10. We did that because we have one in Bryce Young. So that actually makes sense and it's Panther related. Before we get into that, though, real quick, we'll hit some of the news that did come out. The Panthers are scheduled to be in the Hall of Fame game in Canton versus the Arizona Cardinals to kick off the preseason. I believe it's August the 6th of this year. And that's actually lines up pretty well because I'm pretty sure Stu say he'll be in the house. I might try to make my way up there myself. Luke Kuechly getting admitted into the Hall of Fame that same weekend on Saturday. So a Panthers-centric weekend coming up in Ohio at the Hall of Fame ceremonies, and the Panthers will start off, so they'll get an extra preseason game and have 4 instead of 3. Stu, thoughts on the Panthers? I don't know if they've ever played in the Hall of Fame game before. I'm sure they probably have.
I don't think they haven't.
Have they?
I think they haven't. I'm pretty sure they haven't.
I don't think they have.
And so it's a pretty cool experience. I mean, it's an honor of representation of your guy. You know what I'm saying? It's a representation of starting the season off. Everybody's going to tune into the Hall of Fame, obviously, and if there's teams that have caliber players that people want to know about, that are curious about, especially after the draft and whatnot, you're going to tune into that game. And it is a preseason game. You want everybody to come out of that thing unscathed.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's really cool though, because this is an opportunity for Luke and Larry Fitzgerald to be honored, right? Through this game, and their careers and what they mean not only to the team but to the NFL. That's the type of players that we're watching going into the Hall of Fame. Luke Kuechly has forever changed how the linebacker position is how they should operate.
That's
what I'm
facts.
saying?
Yeah, for real.
He's changed how you go into a game and be prepared, right? He's the most prepared football player I know. He is obviously talented, gifted physically, but his mental game is there's nothing like it. And then you look at Larry Fitzgerald, very similar as far as his cadence to the game and his intentionality to his process on how you become a legend, how you become a receiver that is consistent, right? And so I don't know. I think there's a lot of there'll be a lot of cool moments leading up to that game, and I'm gonna be down there or up there in Canton for that game and be there for Luke as he gets honored with such a high honor, the golden jacket. That's what everybody thinks about when you're playing at a high level in the NFL.
Well deserved too for Luke and Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald is responsible for one of the worst Panther viewing moments of my life. The '08 playoff game where it felt like he just was
Yeah,
unguardable. Like he just like four of them on the field. It was crazy that night.
yeah,
But
I
he
was there.
yeah,
I
you were
was
there.
there.
You were there. So like
Although I will say, I scored my first playoff touchdown that game.
see, so you've got some kind of fond memories of that night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was a
think that's the
game
night
where
Jake threw a bunch of interceptions.
man, we had such a dog. We had a really good game plan, dog. And that game plan was to run right and run left. And for whatever reason, we were not running the ball.
Yeah,
And
that was even after like interception 3 or whatever it was. Like they're still just throwing it down the field. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh my gosh! I remember something I
no, it
wanted
was
to
a
ask you
tough
about.
day.
Yeah, it was a very tough day indeed. I wanted to ask you about. I was on YouTube. I haven't watched it yet. I was scrolling around, and this thing came up in my reels, and it's you and Steve Smith, and y'all on a golf course, and it looks like the most hilarious thing like ever created. Like, tell us a little bit about what is going on here. It's like you and Steve Smith like playing around at golf, and y'all are just like talking like in between the holes or whatever.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think the episode dropped last week, and I haven't got a chance to get back around to watch it. But how did that come about?
Yeah, so if people follow me hear this, like, the golf game has taken over my life. Um and it's such a it's really cool though, because it's given a lot of guys like myself, retired guys, Smitty included, something to look forward to, something to like program your schedule, your week, as far as something you're chasing. And everybody that has played golf, you understand the chase. Once you hit a good shot, you want to hit another one.
Oh
And
man,
it might be 30 shots before you hit another good shot.
that's
but
true.
but no, it's he has a YouTube platform that's catered around golf and conversation,
Hmm,
and travel, and it's called Ironed Out. And I have one similar as well called Tea Time Stew.
right.
And so basically, it's like an opportunity to basically showcase to our fans and people that love golf and this community of golf that we are one and the same. There's a common ground, in the golf community that I think a lot of people don't know exist. And for myself, right, growing up, I always thought golf is something that rich people do, and I can't be a part of that, right? And
Mhm.
I think, for me and him, it's an opportunity to go out and showcase what actually happens when you're on a golf course. You're in a cart with a guy that you enjoy being around, that you look up to, that you can find some balance with. Like, this is great bonding. You know what I'm saying? Like this, and to be honest, this is what the locker room is like.
Mm.
That's why we love golf. And so the ironed out, the cart talk is basically me and Smitty being locker mates in the locker room, doing what we do every day
That's
when
what
we
it felt
played
like. Yeah.
football,
Yeah.
which was joke around, talk about real things, get ready for practice and play. You break bread, you joke, you laugh, you make fun of each other. You do it's the most uniting thing that I think when you talk about a guy retiring from the National Football League, you ask every single player, what do they miss? The locker room.
Hmm.
So when we talk about golf, golf is and has become the locker room. And so if you watch the Ironed Out episode of me and him, you're gonna feel like you're in the locker room. And that's what's really cool about it.
I'll have to watch that probably when we're done with this. It's crazy too because I told you a couple weeks back that I'd kind of caught the bug. My wife took me to Top Golf.
Mhm.
We went down to Charlotte 2 weeks ago. We watched Lawrence Pacers, a little mini anniversary getaway. We stayed in
Yeah,
uptown, literally stayed right across the street from the arena. So we just walked
arena.
across. It was great. And we checked out at 11. We were like, well, we don't want to go home yet. What do you want to do? There's a Top Golf right up the way. So we went to Top Golf in like I guess North Charlotte off of 70 or off of 85, I believe it was, the one up there, and
Feel
shot
Creek.
that. By the time we got home, a day or two went by. My wife sends me a message about you shouldn't have let me go shopping for something or other. I'm like, what? And I just see like 12. I'm looking at them right now. There's like 12 golf clubs on my couch in the living room. Like she went to she ended up like Goodwill and like a thrift store and some other places and
Yes.
just started pulling out like different
Man.
clubs. She's
Man, where
got
your
like
wife at?
she's sitting over here inside watching something on the
Man, put
computer
your
waiting
wife
for
on
finish.
television. Hey, tell her to come over here.
No, she bought it too. Like, and she found out from like her brother-in-law how to like grip the club a certain way so you can get the thing going and stuff. So I'm a top
Now
golf is
look,
gripping them
Desmond,
like with the new grip.
you
I'm like,
need to you got to make sure you start taking lessons and start following somebody on Instagram and YouTube, because if
yeah,
your wife becomes better at golf than you, this
that's
is
the
something that you're
fear.
gonna have to live with for the rest of your life.
That's the
Okay, there's
fear.
no catching up at our age, man. You got to
Oh
start
man.
now and you got to go.
And she's younger than me too. So yeah, if she catches me and surpasses me, there's no looking back. And she's
No.
competitive. She's one of the ones that'll stomp you out in Dr. Mario, like that kind of thing. So
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah, she's all about it. So she's
All
over
right,
nod
Miss
her head right
Johnson. I
now.
see you, Mrs. Johnson.
But no, actually, I want to say I'm not ready. I'm not ready for it yet. But somewhere down the way, I want to link up with you and play golf down in Charlotte. Like
Man, look,
I'm
you
nowhere
don't have
close
to
to
be
being ready.
ready. Look, you don't have to be
Oh
ready.
no.
I've been waiting for you to just say, "Hey, I'm coming in town and I want to play golf."
I know. I'm nervous, man. I've never been on a full course before. It's always putt. Top golf is a level up for me.
Yeah.
Because I was the
Yeah.
same way. Like golf was like this rich man sport. I can never play it. I can't afford to play it. And then you start playing, you're like, oh, this ain't actually, I
I
can
can
do
do
this.
this.
Yeah. we can get at this. So like,
Yeah.
give me a little bit of the summer. Give me a little summer. By the time we get to preseason, like
Yeah.
August, when it start well, I was gonna say it's gonna start getting cool again, but it probably won't. Somewhere around in there, we might be ready. Because I don't know if they're gonna let the public in for our mini camps and stuff like they did last year. I think it was closed to the public. So I don't know if they're gonna do that again. If they don't, I want to come down. If they do, then we'll figure something else out. But that popped in my head just a minute ago from that. The Panthers did put out their offseason calendar earlier this week, and the Panthers have played in the Hall of Fame game. They played in 1995, their inaugural season. They played the Jaguars, matter of fact.
Okay.
Both teams starting their histories there. They won 20-14, so this will be their second appearance in that. The dates for the Panthers going into this starts April the 20th, runs through June 11th at various times. So the clubs in the NFL, they're allowed to hold 3 phases of voluntary offseason workouts. It says voluntary, but it sounds like a lot of these guys are coming in anyway, for the Panthers at least. And when you hear
voluntary, quote unquote.
See, and that's what I want to ask you as a former player, because OTAs, organized team activities. Basically, they're looking at film, they're installing stuff, and then they'll start to do physical things against each other in phase 3. They have 10 days of time to do OTAs, no live contact permitted, but you can do 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s, that kind of thing. It says Panthers should have around late May, early June. Mandatory mini camp is June 9th to 11th. That's with everybody, including the draft class. They get a break. They go to Canton in July. So my question was those OTA offseason workouts. How important are those for a young team like the Panthers, to not just to do it, but to get as many of the players possible to buy in and be there?
Yeah, it's important for them from the chemistry standpoint, right? Getting to know your guys, getting to know how they tick. Because a lot of the times, man, I think about OTAs. I looked forward to it. I looked forward to getting back to Charlotte. I looked forward to the hangs after practice. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to go to so and so's house, cook out, go golf, go hang out on the weekend, whatever it is. You're getting to fellowship, like legitimately fellowship in the off season with your comrades that you're going to war with. So I looked at, the OTAs obviously is the training, right? You want to fine tune your skills. And what I did on my healthier years, I would obviously have a second. I would have a second spot where I would go train, whether it was box, whether it was a little bit more agility training, yoga. You use this time to really perfect your craft. This is like preparation for it's preparation for training camp. You know what I'm saying? And I always tell people, man, you don't show up to practice to prepare. you should prepare so that way when you go to practice, your practice is actually as maximum efficiency as possible, right?
Easier to stay ready than to get ready, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I look at OTAs as something like this is preparation. Get your bodies back into shape, get your bodies back on rhythm, on a schedule, so, the routine, right? And the discipline, getting up early, going to bed at a certain time, start like make sure your nutrition's right on path. And so you have the team there, everybody comes in and they're on the same clock. And so if you got guys that are buying into that, and saying, yeah, everybody doesn't have to show up, but to get the percentage of guys to really come in, it concretes, it gives a concrete mindset that your team is in it for the right reasons. Your team's here grinding together because they know what it takes. It doesn't take individual guys to have success. It takes a unit to move forward. And so when you get that participation in OTAs, you're getting something more than just, a group of guys that were just kind of slapped together. No, you're getting a unit.
Yeah.
So
I want to say Dan Morgan and Dave Canales were raving about how many of the Panthers participated last year in OTAs in terms of it felt like everybody was in the building. And I think that's rubbing off this year too, or it will rub off this year too, especially with some of the guys that they brought in. So we'll see about that, and we'll keep y'all as we get closer to those dates. We'll get y'all right as we get into. We're usually off after the draft, and so we get to around those OTAs because by then we've got some news to report, things of that sort. We're usually gone in June when they do mandatory minicamp. We might pop an episode in for that. And then usually we come back right around the end of July, like right before preseason. And then we go from there. I did want to do, and I'd already reached out to the host
I just thought about something.
Yeah.
Like one of the things about OTAs is an opportunity for these guys to come back and actually one of the things I took pride in, especially the years that I was coming back healthy, I got a chance to come back and show people yo, Jonathan's in crazy shape.
You got a little spark, yeah.
He's bouncing. He's got that bounce into him. He's stronger. He looks like he's just a freak of nature, the Hulk again. So I took pride in my off seasons to come back better and to be noticeably better.
Sounds like I'm hearing, it sounds like it might be time. That might be Jonathan Brooks' time.
Yeah.
For him to show that same thing, because we ain't seen dude in 2 years. We don't really know what we have, and
I know we have.
Well, you told me. Yeah, you told me. I know from what you've told me. Yeah, so I tell people I'll be in Food Line or something, and people will walk over, hey man, what's going on with the Panthers? Blah blah blah. What you think about Jonathan Brooks? Blah blah blah. We got a winner. I'm like, from what I'm hearing,
winner chicken dinner.
You wait and see. He gonna see. He gonna be a situation when he gets out there. Before we get to our redraft of the top 10 overall number 1 picks, a lot of quarterbacks. It's all quarterbacks and 2 defensive ends. I'm sitting there looking at it. Before we do that, quick word from our guys and gals over at ZipRecruiter. I just recently put out a call to hire. This is the time of year where I'm letting kids go from Learfield that work for me at Tobacco Road Sports Radio. They do play-by-play because they graduate and do other things, and I bring in another crop. And one of the ways I try to weed out the ones that are just there for a job and the ones that's their passion is that I use things to figure out if they're eager to learn more about the job. If I know they want to work for Tobacco Road, if they seem like a good fit, they're excited about it. You can figure all that out actually through ZipRecruiter. It's one of the only ones where you can kind of get that in-depth type of job search compared to other competitors. They have matching technology that finds qualified candidates quickly, and they have a new feature that shows you the most interested qualified candidates first, so you meet the right people faster. So it's like putting their resume at the top of the pile when you're looking to hire somebody. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com right there /audio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. So ZipRecruiter with us here through the month of April. I'm debating if I want to put this screen up or not. I can just read them because they sometimes believe it's mad at us when I put the screenshots up because they said they can't use it on TV or something. So I'm just gonna read these out, and I'll try to keep track of it here because I think some of them we're gonna know are gonna be top 1, top 3 type stuff, and then we'll figure out about them. Start at 2016 to 2025. 2016, Jared Goff was number 1 overall pick by the Rams. He since then has made 5 Pro Bowls and is currently playing for the Detroit Lions. 2017, Miles Garrett, defensive end for the Cleveland Browns. Still with the Browns. They are literally paying him like half of their half of the money they have available. The other half's going to Deshaun Watson, apparently, because I think they're going to try to start Deshaun. We'll get to that later. Miles Garrett, Cleveland Browns. He's made the Pro Bowl 7 times. Baker Mayfield was 2018. Won the Heisman Trophy. He's been to 2 Pro Bowls. Also drafted by the Cleveland Browns. How many Cleveland Browns are in here? For
a lot.
A lot. There's 2 right there, back-to-back years. 2019 was Kyler Murray, who, where's Kyler now? He's not with Arizona.
He's in Minnesota Vikings.
Huh.
So you know what he said? That boy said, I chose number 7 because 8, 9.
What? What?
7, 8, 9.
Oh my God!
He took number 7 because 7, 8, 9.
You doing dad jokes out here? Is that what's happening?
And so you know who number 9 is?
That Justin Jefferson?
That's McCarthy.
Oh wait, no, you ain't supposed to. Hold up, man. He's still on the team. Like that's your teammate. What you doing,
hey, bro? That's your teammate, brother.
What you doing? No. Kyler Murray out here. He's gonna cause disruption in the Vikings locker room. Well, he's got Justin Jefferson to throw to. That's going to be interesting. We'll get into that. 2020, Joe Burrow, LSU, Cincinnati Bengals, won the Heisman Trophy, made 3 Pro Bowls. 2021, Trevor Lawrence, Clemson, Jacksonville Jaguars, still with the team, made a Pro Bowl in 2022. 2022, Trayvon Walker, the defensive end from Georgia. Jacksonville had the number 1 picks both years, and they went defensive end in 2022. He has not done anything. There's nothing beside his name in terms of individual accolades. 2023, Bryce Young, Alabama, Carolina Panthers, won the Heisman Trophy in 2021. Caleb Williams, 2024, from the Bears, USC, Heisman Trophy winner in 2022. And then last year, Cam Ward was the number 1 overall pick out of Miami, Florida, to the Tennessee Titans. Out of those names I mentioned, I'm going to try to keep a list here as we zip through these. Who should be the number 1 overall pick in our redraft of the top 10 picks of the past 10 years, or top number 1 picks?
All right, so going back to 2016.
Jared Goff.
Who was in that class?
2016. I don't know if I can. I can. Okay, if I click it, it'll tell me, at least in the first round.
So let's see. We got.
Who else was in that? Jared Goff and Carson Wentz were the top 2 picks in that draft. Ezekiel Elliott was taken 4th overall by Dallas.
So we would say the Los Angeles Rams.
Ooh, Derrick Henry was in that draft. He went 45th. Dak Prescott was in that draft too.
Eli Manning or Eli Apple.
I mean,
Buckner.
He came out with I remember that draft being light on quarterbacks, if I'm not mistaken. And that's why Goff and Wentz went like 1 and 2.
I feel like Jared Goff is a good pick for them, right?
He's won a Super Bowl. Actually, is he the only one that's won a Super Bowl on that list? I just said, hold on, me.
Top 10.
Wait, has he? No, he hasn't won a Super Bowl. He's been to the Super Bowl. He took the Rams
to the Super Bowl. Hasn't won though.
They lost to the Patriots and Tom Brady. Look at the other names. Are none of the, well, Burrow's been to the Super Bowl. What's it? Goff and Burrow, the only 2 that made the Super Bowl. I would. Honestly, I'd probably go Miles Garrett number 1. Looking at these names, I mean, he's a 7-time Pro Bowler. And would you say Miles Garrett is a top 3 defensive player in the league still? Like right now?
Miles Garrett?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. That boy broke the record last year.
That's what I'm saying.
2016?
17.
Okay, 2017, Miles Garrett. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you keep that.
So Garrett goes. So we're gonna put Garrett number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2. Now you get to Jared Goff and Joe Burrow are the only 2 quarterbacks on this list that have made the Super Bowl. Neither one of them won it. Burrow lost to.
So we are ranking.
Yeah,
The
like
top. Oh,
like
okay,
yeah,
got you.
take the 10. We're gonna
Yeah.
re-rank them in terms of who would have went
Oh
if they
boy,
were all in the same
I
class.
caught up. I caught up. Don't worry about it.
I was wondering, man. I was like, does he know what we're doing, or that explains the right way?
Yeah. We're definitely going Miles Garrett number 1,
Okay.
2017.
Yep.
We'll go Joe Burrow
Ooh.
number 2.
Do you think? Do you
Unless
think?
you
I was only going to say, do you think Burrow was living off of that Super Bowl appearance? Because that was 22. Was he a rookie?
man,
Second
look,
year?
this is what I'm gonna say. Joe Burrow, when he's out there on that field, he is quarterbacking.
Is the problem is where he is. The problem is he's in
That's
Cincinnati.
that's a bad organization,
Yeah,
dog. Like,
now they finally paid everybody on offense, but
right.
they didn't leave any money for the defense. That's why Trey
Man, look,
Henderson's in Baltimore.
if you put any living organism in a container that has no oxygen, will it survive?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
That's what Joe Burrow's in.
He's going the route of Carson Palmer. Same way. Remember,
Uh-huh.
he had to retire to get out of Cincinnati. Like he
Yeah.
literally had to retire, sit 2 years, and then he came back, played for the Raiders or whatever.
Mhm.
You got Garrett 1, Burrow 2. Honestly, Jared Goff probably should go right there at 3, I
Yeah,
guess.
Jared Goff.
It's a
I'll
Goff.
go Jared Goff.
Okay, and that was 2016.
Yep.
Then you get this group of like Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence. They're a little bit before Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, and out of those
I would
three,
say Baker Mayfield,
yeah, because he's won
especially
like
with
division titles.
especially with how he's like overcome like all the things he had to overcome to be
True.
where he is now.
That's a good point because he's literally the leader of the Tampa Bay Bucks right now, and they've won multiple division titles with him at quarterback. He won the Heisman Trophy, and he's made 2 Pro Bowls, 23 and 24. So, and that was after he got to Tampa. So, between Kyler Murray and Trevor Lawrence, you know what? This is funny because I've made fun of both of them on the show for a variety of reasons. Trevor Lawrence actually proved me wrong this year because I always say Trevor Lawrence is like the worst, best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Like whenever we see Trevor, he's like ranked number 17 or something like that. He's never top 10. He's never the bottom. But last year, he kind of came on at the end of the year.
He did. I would say Trevor Lawrence over Kyler Murray for sure.
I really like Lawrence coming out of college too. Like I love those Clemson teams, and I thought he was going to be next, and maybe he still will be. He's only been in the league for 5 years. It feels like he's been here forever. But 2021 is when he came out, and he was young when he came out. I think he was like 20, 21. So he's only like 25, 26 years old. And then are we putting Murray behind that, or would you put Bryce Young or Caleb Williams ahead of Kyler Murray?
I'm putting Caleb Williams.
All right, Caleb Williams is numbers.
Just based off that throw he had last year or this past season.
You know what? I questioned Caleb Williams coming out of USC. There's some things he said and some things he did. I was like, I don't know if this is the guy I want to, run through walls for. And then last year he kind of shut me up.
He did.
At least beginning of the year.
He did.
That leaves Kyler Murray, Bryce Young, Cam Ward.
I'm going Bryce Young.
Yeah, I'm comfortable putting Bryce at 7 right there. And that's not a knock on Bryce.
It's not a knock on Bryce. It's just you got guys that have been grinding longer and have, a little bit of a track record ahead of them.
Who am I missing here? Trayvon Walker, Caleb Williams, Cam Ward. Oh no, I used Caleb Williams. Trayvon Walker, Cam Ward, and
I'll go Trayvon Walker.
Oh, we haven't put. Wait a minute, I'm missing a name.
No, you have.
Oh, Murray.
So it should be Miles Garrett.
So I've got Miles Garrett 1, Joe Burrow 2, Goff 3, Mayfield 4, Lawrence 5, Williams 6, Bryce Young 7.
Yep, and then we're gonna go Trayvon Walker.
Ooh, really? At 8?
Yeah, at 8.
All right. So
and then we're gonna go Cam Ward 9. And Kyler Murray 10. Hey, look. And it's only because my man didn't pan out in Arizona. And we don't know if he's going to pan out in Minnesota right now.
He's little, but he's little different. He's different little than Bryce Young. Bryce Young is like crafty little.
Bryce Young is in good territory with his team right now.
Yeah,
Kyler Murray ain't in good territory with nobody.
No, Kyler's one of them types that
until he proves otherwise. Like he can prove us all wrong today.
He could. I mean, he's gonna be thrown to a top 3 wide receiver. This is the best chance.
How I see it, Bryce Young after this year, he can be a top 3.
He could. Look, and we'll talk about this next week, but I've been hearing KC Concepcion, the wide receiver from Texas A&M, that Morgan might double dip and go get another wide receiver in the first round. Like, I don't even know what to like. I don't know if I want to, because after the free agency period he just did, I'm like, well, what else do they need on defense besides more depth? And
they need a linebacker. They need a linebacker.
If somebody falls in their lap, or that Sadiq kid from Oregon, I've seen him attached to us too. So we'll get more in depth with this next week when we start our draft stuff. And I did speak to Kevin, the host over at Believe in Falcons, Fanduel, I think is what it is. We were going to try and start doing something where we bring on other hosts from Believe from the NFC South to get a State of the Union report for their teams in the NFC South.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So maybe we'll probably do
shots at them.
Yeah, to their face. So we'll bring them and talk smack about it to their face. Yeah. So we'll probably do draft next week, maybe see what Joe DeLeon's doing. And then after that, before we get out for our break, we'll hit the Falcons, we'll hit the Saints, we'll hit the Bucks, and just see what they're doing, how they feel about their teams, and we'll explain to them why Carolina's about to
run. We'll have a packed show next week because we'll be ready, locked in, ready to go with all the players. I built a list of guys that I would love to have on our team.
Yeah, and now's the time where we can bring in some guests and have stories, reminisce, that kind of stuff too. So we'll do a little something for you guys. We haven't forgotten y'all, so we want to come in and give you a little something for the week. Let us know if you agree with our list. You can comment on Believe's YouTube channel underneath this video if you agree with the list we have, with Miles Garrett number 1, Burrow 2, Golf 3, Mayfield 4, Lawrence 5, Caleb Williams 6, Bryce Young 7, Walker 8, Ward 9, Kyler Murray 10. So let us know in the comment section there. We do have to roll. We will be back next week, probably early next week, because the draft starts Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, so we'll probably maybe Monday or Tuesday and try to get ahead of that for you guys. And by then, we figured the draft experts will have locked into what Carolina should do and who they're looking at and going from there. But we have learned from last year that Dan Morgan keeps his cards pretty close to the vest. So we have no idea what that man's going to do, which is why we're not going to sit here and guess about it for 6 weeks.
Yeah, so we'll just give you a laundry list of things we would love to see.
Yeah, but this is what we like for Dan Morgan to do. Let's see if he hits some of these. We're going to get out of here. Again, brought to you by the folks over at Fanduel and ZipRecruiter. For Jonathan Stewart, this is Desmond Johnson. For Believe in Panthers, keep pounding. We'll see you next week.